my studio. I'm Kriste-lee, one of Berryville's artists here. Behind me you'll see some of my work, and here's old work from when I was just a teenager. So as far as art goes, I've pretty much always done it. I started very young, and my parents were very wise. They discovered that if they gave me crayons to eat, that I would be still for hours. And it just kept on my whole life. So that's what I've always done. And every job I've ever had that actually made money was a nighttime job so that I could do my artwork during the day. And a lot of things have influenced my work. When I was young, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. And so I had this oriental thing, and I like gloomy days. Other people go, gloomy day. I go, wow, gray dumpling clouds, you know. So I really like that kind of thing. And here, we're blessed, especially in the winter, with an incredible light. It has brought artists here forever. It's almost Northern European, this light here, especially in the winter. And then the winters here are rich in a different way, because it's the only time here you can ever see the bones of the earth. And as an artist, that grounds me. So I lived for years where there was not 4 seasons. And so there was kind of this ungrounded part of me all the time. And then I came here, and there was a winter, and all the bones showed, and I went, wow, this is it. This works for me. So that also has influenced my art in a great deal. Like all artists, we start with color crayons, and then we work through pen and ink, and then we get into paint, and we have ever so much fun. And then eventually, at 69 years old here, I have discovered fabric, and somebody already painted it. It's just absolutely wonderful. It comes to me all ready to go, and I cut little tiny itty bitty pieces, little itty bitty tiny pieces, and layer them on with collage glue. And sometimes I stick other stuff in there, pennies. I like pennies underneath. I get, sometimes underneath a flower, I'll lay a penny, and that's my center, and it gives me a textural thing. So, and also a thing about fabric, I took a class last summer, and I learned how to start coloring my own fabrics. And so now I'm coloring my own fabrics, and some of these fabrics here are fabrics that I've produced myself with wax resist and paint, and when I first started, I did fabric that was so thick I couldn't even use it. I had so much paint on there, I'll tell you, I couldn't even bend it around the edges of my canvas. But I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at it now. And it allows me, doing my own fabric, allows me to have the bark of a tree if that's what I want. Whereas before, I might have a piece of fabric that had a design of a river, and I might have had to take one little piece out of that to get my bark. But now I can do big bark, big everything. I was very sorry when I had to stop doing polymer clay so much, because I really loved it. And that also influenced the fabric, because polymer clay, what I did, it's called Millefiori designs, and it's probably the oldest type of glassware made. If you go to Italy, they make it all over. It's just wonderful. You look down in these glasses, and here's all this stuff. Well, I made those designs out of polymer clay, and then sliced them and diced them and used them as mosaic tile. And I got used to those little tiny, exquisite, bright details that I could get into that clay. And so, like when I couldn't do the clay anymore because it made my hands hurt, then I did some painting, and it was so boring. It was just awful. I mean, it was like almost embarrassing. It was awful. And because it didn't have all that little texture that my eye was used to. And then there was fabric, and there it is, already textured, all ready to go. So really, I consider myself the cut and paste queen of the geriatric set. And I think that what I'm supposed to be doing is what I'm doing, which is to provide the world with color and pattern and whimsy, and it's what makes me happy. So that's my thing. And thank you for coming to my studio. I love it that you're here. Eureka Thyme is like this magic shop that is filled with absolutely perfectly professional work that just sort of resonates when you walk in there. And all the artists in there were all so different and so unique that it's like an explosion of color and love and everything. Yeah, come to Eureka Thyme, and there's not a better one in town.